We're here in Orlando, Florida at the American Society of Hematology, and I'm here this afternoon with Anne Quinn Young from the Multiple Myeloma Research Foundation. Anne, it's good to see you. Thanks for stopping by.
Good to see you too.
Could you give us a little background on the Multiple Myeloma Research Foundation and what your mission and purpose is?
Sure. The mission of the Multiple Myeloma Research Foundation, or MMRF, is to accelerate new treatments and eventually a cure for patients. A little bit about the organization and the disease. It was founded 18 years ago by a patient, Kathy Giusti. At the time, there were no treatments in the pipeline. Survival was about 3 years, and there was very little research funding to help stimulate new drug discovery and development. So Kathy started the organization with the idea of how do you get researchers and companies interested in pursuing myeloma so that there might be new treatments available for patients. And the idea was to inject as much speed into the system as possible, and to do that was important to build collaborations with all key stakeholders.
Yeah. Well, speaking of stakeholders, how exactly do you work with other stakeholders in the healthcare delivery continuum or the industry to help accelerate that process and bring new therapies to market?
So in a disease like multiple myeloma, which is heterogeneous, it varies from person to person. Even within a single person, patients have multiple clones, so it's a very heterogeneous disease. It's also relatively uncommon. So in order to get enough patients to research and analyze their data, you need to be working with many, many different centers. And because the disease is heterogeneous, a one-size-fits-all treatment approach doesn't work for every patient. So you need many different companies involved as well. So from day one, we worked with researchers from across the world, as well as with different companies. So a couple of examples. Yesterday, we convened our Multiple Myeloma Research Consortium. Those are 22 centers from the US and Canada who collaborate on phase 1 and phase 2 clinical trials. And the results that we're seeing are absolutely incredible. In the past 13 years, there have been 10 new drug approvals for multiple myeloma. What's even more spectacular is there were 4 this year, 3 in the last 2 weeks. That has never happened in any other cancer, quite possibly in any other disease. So the benefits of all of these different constituencies working together to accelerate drug development is having incredible returns for patients.